he took me with him to Traverse City. And I would probably have never gone to Traverse City if he had. I never asked for it because I just thought, I'll never get this place. So I wasted a request on the air. I wanted to go there because that was near home, near Iowa, closer for the family to see the relatives and mom and dad. Traverse City serviced all of them. We serviced Buffalo.
But not Erie. Oh, you did? Erie and Ontario?
We had the only air station in the district. They didn't have an air station at Cleveland, no. We had one at Selfridge that came later, and we had one at Traverse City. And then we had one in Chicago. Now, just a minute. Maybe we didn't have it. We had units in Chicago, Coast Guard units. I don't think we had an air station in Chicago either. Small boats, because it's a big city.
Yeah.
I mean, second largest city.
Yeah.
We had small boats there. We obviously had a buoy tender there because there were lots of buoys in there. Yeah. We had buoy tenders in Chicago. We had them in Cleveland. We had them in Buffalo. We probably had them in Duluth. You had to have a buoy tender in many of these places just because it's just a kind of a waterfront because it's a lake.
Yeah.
So it's got the buoys were approaches to the lake. There was a canal that went through from Lake Michigan to the Mississippi. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I think there is a canal that goes through there. We shipped all the iron ore came out of Duluth area. It's the whole length of Superior, which is 300 miles long. Superior is 300 miles long.
Yeah.
That's why when the wind goes from the west and it blows for 300 miles, they can have some pretty rough seas on the east end of Lake Superior, because it's a big lake. And then, of course, Michigan is the whole length of Michigan high.
Yep.
It goes from Chicago all the way to the Sioux Canal up there. Then the Sioux Canal goes through between Huron and Superior. And then Huron and Michigan, I think, were joined at where the bridge was, Mackinac Bridge. Yeah.
That's a lot of water to cover.
It is a lot of water. We didn't respond to a overturned boat in Duluth. That's 2 or 3 states away. The boats took care of that, or their local rescue people. We just couldn't respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
It would take us 2.5 hours to get there, flying.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get there in a helicopter. It'd take us a day to get there in a helicopter, refueling and so forth. One icebreaker. That icebreaker made the industry work. Well, a month or 2 early every spring. They would start breaking the ice and they get this ore out a lot faster.
They still do that?
I think so, but I don't know that.
I thought the Coast Guard was down to 1 icebreaker or something.
Well, I think they are, but I think they're still breaking ice. Not as thick. So it'd be a little later in the spring, but they're probably breaking ice with those buoy tenders. Buoy tenders had a reinforced hull, so they can run up on light ice, maybe a foot, foot and a half, and break it. The icebreaker breaks the ice by the hull going up.
Right.
That's not pushing it out of the way. You can't push it out of the way. You got to break it off.
Right.
So you just drive in up on top of it, and the weight of the ship keeps breaking it off.
When you were flying off the back of that thing, is the ship moving while you're landing?
Well, it can. Yeah, it can. Either way, doesn't make any difference. They usually went into the wind. That made it a little bit easier. And it doesn't rock very much because unless it's bad storm, the lakes were pretty calm. And an icebreaker is a pretty hefty ship, so it didn't rock a lot. It was a piece of cake landing on the icebreaker. I like to do it. Many people didn't. They wanted to do with that icebreaker. They just want to be home, do their duty, go home. I enjoyed the extra adventure. I was eager to be with my family every chance I got, but I didn't give up work to do that. I was paid to do stuff for the Coast Guard. I volunteered probably more than many people. I just did because I had a wife.
Well, if you were averaging 68 hours a week, yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot of work. I did a lot of stuff for the Coast Guard. And Mom she knew that I was a dedicated Coast Guard person. And I did things. I just didn't avoid doing things. I did things. Mom was pretty proud of your dad.
Yeah, and we managed.
Mom, you did what Mom told you. You were a very disciplined family. She may have said to you guys, well, wait until Dad gets home. She never had to tell me about anything. You guys always shaped up. Mom, I don't think I ever had any problem with the kids.